Hi guys, and welcome to another batch of your replays. Today, the theme is Here There Be Monsters, because I'm going to be including two replays from two absolute monster machines. One, the Waffentrager E-100 with Fruebell, and later on, the FV-183 with Saljin. These are two of the Tier 10 TDs that are going to get hit with the Nerf bat in 9.2, and I thought I would include them on the channel while they are in their heyday, while they're as powerful as they can be. And yes, these replays confirm that these things are absolute monsters, and why I absolute hate running into them in games. Let's just get going. So, there's a lot of reasons I'm including this particular replay today. As I say, I haven't received a Waffentrager E-100 replay before, so therefore it has not been featured on the channel because I don't own this tank. And I mentioned lots of times that I love getting replays of tanks I don't yet own because I get to see how they play and get to indeed realize that the fear factor I have of a Waffentrager E-100 is justified when I see it played from the other side and not just from the receiving end. So the other reason I'm including this is Fruebell hasn't featured on the channel before, and also it's an assault game, and I don't play assault. I've got assault turned off in my options because when I was playing assault I just found that this game mode, it's short, it's only 10 minutes long, but it requires a level of team cooperation, especially on the attacking team, that really just doesn't exist in most random games. I found that Assault was the most unfair of all the game modes in World of Tanks, and I just got fed up of being, even on a semi-competent team, attacking a competent team. I found that the attacking team often found it very, very hard to win, simply because the ability to work together as a team just does not exist in public games. But Fruebell has actually reloaded, and you can see that he's got a 6-shot magazine. And a 6-shot magazine that's capable of doing 560 alpha damage and 276 penetration. Really, really scary. The other really scary thing is, and again I don't know the stats off the top of my head, is the aim time on this tank is very, very short. So you've got huge burst damage potential. And Fruebell is just setting up here. He's waiting for this bunch of Tier 8 heavies to make a mistake. Now, I think the first mistake's about to be made, and there we go. First shot tracks him, second shot gets him down to 364. Wow. That was a 5-second exchange, and he completely annihilated that T-32 and still has 6 shots, or still has 3 shots in his magazine. And another Tier 8 heavy. Nice shot on the turret. And boom. That's another 822 damage done in 3 seconds to a Lova. And he still has 1 shot in the magazine. Now, if you notice, not too many tanks are defending the 1-2 lines, and they're being put under pressure in the middle. But while his team have taken out the last remaining Tier 8 heavy on the 9-0 lines, Fruebell decides to go for a reload. But you can see Fruebell looking over to his right. He's aware that the danger on the left flank seems mainly to have been eradicated. Now he's going to go over to the right flank and see what he can do over there. But this thing is absolutely scary. This tank is so scary. Fruebell's up to 2,300 damage from 5 shots, and he hasn't missed a single shot yet. So off the top of my head, I'm not 100% sure what all the technical nerfs on this tank are, but it is getting 1 shot removed from the magazine. But that doesn't matter, because that's going to take it from 6 shots down to 5 shots. And you saw that burst damage done with just 5 shots. He didn't fire his 6th shot, but he sees the danger. He's moving over to the other flank, and he's got a few low health tier 8s over here. This is another dream match, by the way. I forgot to point this out. Fruebell's the only tier 10 in this game. Everything else is tier 8 and tier 9. But T-28 prototype, frontal armor, doesn't matter. 2 shots in, 4 shots left in the magazine, another 909 damage. So, 909 damage done in 3 seconds, and Fruebell's just been spotted. Never good in a Waffentrager. And Borsig has opened fire, but by opening fire he's given up his position. And oh, that's the first shot that's missed. But 3 more shots. So 2,000 hit points. Fruebell's taken a lot of damage, but he did do another 1,100 damage to that Borsig. And at the same time, took a few shots. His gun's been knocked out. He does have a repair kit, and he does have a large repair kit. He carries 2 repair kits on this tank. Question is, which repair kit is he going to be using? It's fairly obvious it has to be the small one, but he's gone for another reload. You can see the reload is close to a minute long. And that is really about the only time this tank is vulnerable, unless tanks are shooting HE at it. So he uses the small repair kit, repairs his gun. He's got 10 seconds left. Game is almost over, 4 minutes left. Only 4 tanks left on the enemy team. 6 shots in his magazine again. And again, more tier 8s in front of him. So he gets spotted, but he got the side of a T-28 prototype, gets 1 shot in. Conqueror on the hill. Conqueror bounces. 1, 2, 3. Bye-bye, tier 9 heavy. 6,500 damage. Fruebell's only missed 1 shot in this game. He's on 5 kills, 1 enemy tank left. Is he going to get his top gun? And yes, he is. Another tier 9 tank, or tier 10 tank gone. But that is how explosive the Waffentrager E-100 is. It's the first time I've featured it on the channel, and it is a scary, scary machine. So Fruebell did 7k damage. He only missed 1 shot in that game, and it wasn't enough for a mastery. That's how scary this tank can be. The fact that you need so much more damage, the fact that even though he hit every shot but 1, he actually needed to do better in order to pick up the ace tanker, but it was still a great game. High caliber, top gun, and sniper medal. He finished top on XP with 1121, 7,112 damage, 6 kills. And this is just how scary this tank can be. He fired 16, hit 16, penned 16. Oh, well, okay, maybe I was wrong. I could have sworn one of the shots on the Borsig actually missed, but maybe it bounced and did no damage. But received 5 hits, 3 of them were penetrations, 2 of them were actually bounces. None of those shots should have been bounces if the enemy tanks had actually hit his gun shield. The hull on the Waffentrager E-100 is an E-100, remember, and shoot it in the hull frontally and you are going to bounce. Go for the gun shield the whole time. He spotted 2, damaged 7, destroyed 6, and did 739 assistance damage. He earned 41,000 credits for that game, which is pretty impressive considering it's a tier 10. You have to have really good games in tier 10 machines to earn credits. 1681 XP, it wasn't his first game of the day on in that tank, so no bonus, but as I say, 1681 XP with a premium account meant it was a really, really good game. And I'm happy to have featured it. As I say, I haven't featured the Waffentrager E-100 on my channel before. Haven't featured any assault games on my channel before. Well, just one way back in the early scouting videos. But I just don't cover assault. And yeah, here there be monsters part 1. Waffentrager is definitely a monster. Moving on to another monster, we have Saljin in his FV215B183, or just the FV183 as I tend to call it to keep it short. This is definitely another monster, and Saljin is going to show us why. Now, one of the main reasons I hate facing FV-183s is the fact that its HESH ammo not only does an incredible 1,750 alpha damage if it penetrates, and it also gets 275 millimeters of penetration, like the Waffenträger does with its standard ammo. The problem I have with the HESH ammo is the fact that even if the shot doesn't penetrate, and to penetrate it needs to hit direct armor, can't hit spaced armor, and it can't hit sloped armor, unless it overmatches it by 3 times. But the problem I have is even if it's not a penetrating shot, it can still do up to 700-800 damage with a non-penetrating shot. So I came up against 183 in my mouse recently, and I was playing very, very well. I was very, very angled, and he was still able to take me out in 5 shots, even though I was perfectly angled every time, and none of the shots actually penetrated. It cost him 40,000 credits, because it's 8,000 credits a shot in this tank. And Saljin missed. But as I say, yeah, I mean, when this thing does 600-700 damage even on a non-penetrating hit, that basically makes it equivalent with the HESH ammo of a lot of other tier 10 tank destroyers that don't have the HESH. The scary thing about this tank is when that HESH penetrates. So, as you can see on Saljin's loadout, he only carries 8 HESH shells and 4 AP shells. He's already wasted 8,000 credits on that shot at the WZ down in the middle of the map. This is also, I should point out, a 46%er, so it's a very close game. But Saljin is just waiting. Oh, and let's get back to this ammo. Goes for a blind shot. No idea whether or not it hit. It was aimed at a tank that was stealth. But Saljin's down to 10 shots, so this tank only gets 12 rounds. And even though it can pretty much one-hit kill every tank in the game, including or excluding the mouse, but it will do a lot of damage to a mouse if it rolls high and penetrates. This tank can run out of ammo pretty quickly if you are careless with your shots. You really need to make every shot count in this tank. And there we go. Hits the tracks on the Conqueror and only does 758 damage with the HESH shell. Of course, if it had penetrated, it would have one-hit killed the Conqueror. But, yeah, using the premium ammo on this tank is what makes it a monster. Not much to aim at. And fires down into the tracks on the IS-7. Very difficult shot or tank for even an FV to penetrate from the front. But again, track shot 800 or 586 damage. So, as I say, even scarier than the alpha damage with a penetrating shot is the oh, he takes a hit. Is the fact it can do as much damage as a lot of other tier 10 TDs even without a penetrating hit. So he's taken his first damage and he is down to 7 rounds. He's on 1866 damage, but this is why this tank is scary. It doesn't even need to penetrate in order to do major damage. And as the HESH stands for High Explosive Squashed Head, you gotta remember that these shots are doing module damage. They are HE shots, so they're doing module damage. So he takes his time, takes another hit, but takes out the Conqueror, and didn't even need to penetrate in order to kill the Conqueror that time. 676 damage, so even if that shot hadn't penetrated, it's possible that it just took him out just with the a non-penetrating HESH hit, or HESH hit. So he's down to 2 shots of Hesh left. He's down to 6 shots. And as you can see, this is a tank that can't really be played that aggressively. But 1231 health. Bye-bye. Penetrating shot on the side of an AMX-50B. And had that AMX-50B been on full health, that probably would have been a one-hit kill anyway. So in the meantime, his team are looking okay, or were looking okay on the right-hand flank. There's an STA-1 who is a one-hit kill, very lightly armoured, but he's only on 853 health. So even a non-penetrating hit from this Hesh will pretty much get him out of the game. So I'm a long way away from the FV183. I'm currently on the Tortoise, but it's still stock, so it's going to be a long time before I get to drive this tank. Okay, so STA gives him a side penetrating shot, 853 damage. This is such a scary machine. So that was Saljin's last Hesh shell. He's on 4 AP shells left. Now he's actually going to have to penetrate to do damage, and his splash shots aren't going to be doing as much damage, but the AP on this tank gets 310 millimeters of penetration, which again is incredible. Alpha damage drops down to 1150. So 310 millimeters of penetration is more than good enough to go through the front of pretty much most tanks in the game. So Saljin is finally maneuvering. He's had to leave his spot. 3 tanks remaining. Saljin has 4 shots left. He's flanking. He's going to get flank shots. He's got the side of a turret and an IS-7, but he drops back. Aims at the second IS-7 and easy penetration. 680 damage, 3 shots left. And the IS-7 and the Waffentrager E-100 below him are both on around 950 health, and as you can see, the alpha damage on the AP shells more than enough to actually kill both of them. 1150 alpha damage. He just has to find shots. Oh, rushed that one a little bit before being fully aimed. He's down to 2 shots left, 2 enemy tanks, both on around 950. Doesn't have much to aim at. Just the gun. Aiming more carefully. He's still on a reload. It's got a 25.5 second reload for Saljin. Waffentrager's nearly dead. And takes out the Waffentrager E-100. Very low health, but still nice kill. Now the IS-7 is down to 605 health. Saljin has 1 shot left, 1 enemy tank left, only 605 hit points. Saljin can afford to take a hit. He's got 1,100 hit points. But he's still side-scraping, doesn't want to pay those repair costs. IS-7 fires, IS-7 bounces. And Saljin's got the shot down on his sloped armor, takes him out with the last shell in his tank. So that is a Faiden's medal. Taking out the last remaining enemy tank with the last remaining shell will net you a Faiden's medal. Always nice when that happens. So that was a first class ace tanker for Saljin. He also picked up, as I say, his Faiden's medal for killing the last tank with his last shell. He also picked up high caliber and top gun, even though most of his shots didn't actually penetrate, and most of his kills were done simply from as much damage as a non-penetrating shot with the Hesh shell is. And that's why I find the 183 scary. The fact that even if I'm in the most heavily armored tank in the game and I'm angling perfectly, the fact that he can still do 700-800 damage with a non-penetrating hit on a perfectly armored tank or a perfectly angled tank and still be able to do that much damage and take out modules, that's just so scary. And that's why this replay made it into Here There Be Monsters today. So Saljin finished top on XP with 11 12 XP, 6,101 damage, and 6 kills. He fired 12 shots, hit 9, did 2 splash damage. That's how dangerous the Hesh shells are. So even though he was firing directly at tanks, you still get a decent splash radius with the gun, and you can splash damage tanks that are beside it. 9 penetrations. He damaged 6 and destroyed 6. He made a loss of 23,000 credits because the Hesh shells on this tank cost 8,000 credits. So in the example I gave you earlier, when I came up against a 183 in my mouse and we were just shooting each other, I had to angle against a few tanks. He took 5 shots to kill me. None of them penetrated, but it cost him 40,000 credits. If those last 4 AP shells had been Hesh, this ammo cost would have been 40,000 credits higher, and this would have been a 65,000 credit lost game. So this is not a tank you want to play in to make money. This is simply a tank you want to play in if you want to be a monster. You will usually lose money. You have to have an absolutely huge game in this tank in order to pretty much just break even. But you do pay for it in credits. So yeah, 2 monster machines and 2 reasons why I am really scared of these tanks. They're both getting nerfs in the 9.2. The 183 is going to get its penetration reduced on the Hesh, but that's going to make absolutely no difference in my opinion. It's going to make 0 difference, because my problem with the Hesh is the fact it can do so much damage even on a non-penetrating hit. So angling is absolutely pointless against these tanks, and when it needs to hit flat armor, again, even though it's getting a penetration nerf, it's not by much, and most of the tanks it could one-hit kill by hitting flat armor, it's still going to be able to one-hit kill by hitting flat armor. So I really don't think the 183 is getting that big a nerf, and I do see most players, I'm predicting it now, I'm calling it now, I think most players on 183s are still going to be firing Hesh, because the fact you can do 700-800 damage on a non-penetrating hit anyway is pretty scary. Anyway, thank you to Saljin and to Fruebell for sending those replays in. As I say, I always love getting replays in tanks I don't yet own, and these 2 are absolute monsters. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.